Good day everyone, I am Arne Luis G. Pereja and I am here to continue our presentation about location, planning, and analysis. If you are planning to start a business or planning to expand your business, location must be considered to suit the business you are planning. That's where location planning and analysis shows up. In evaluating locations, there are some things that needs analyzing. And in this video, we will talk about cost, profit, volume analysis. Cost, profit, volume analysis does three things, which is number one, determine fixed and variable cost. Through this, you will be able to determine the fixed and variable cost of your business. Fixed cost is a cost that does not change with an increase or decrease of amount of goods or services produced or sold. Fixed costs are expenses that have to be paid by a company independent of any specific business activities. While variable costs are a company's costs that are associated with the number of goods or services produces, a company's variable cost increases and decreases with its production volume. When production volume goes up, the variable cost will increase. On the other hand, if the volume goes down, so too will the variable cost. Also, in analyzing the cost profit volume, you will be able to plot total cost and determine the lowest total cost. Also, in analyzing cost volume, there are assumptions that needs to avoid. Those assumptions are number one, fixed costs are constant. Well, fixed costs, however, can decrease on a per unit basis when they are associated with the direct cost portion of the income statement, fluctuating in the breakdown of cost of goods sold. The second assumption is that variable costs are linear. Variable costs vary in linear fashion with the production level. However, when stated on a per unit basis, variable costs remain constant across all production levels within the relevant range. Hence, the total cost is increasing and linear in the production level. The last two assumptions on location cost volume is that output can be closely estimated and only one product involved. Here, you can see an example of cost volume analysis. The quantity is 10,000 and the fixed and variable cost for 4 potential locations. We calculate the variable cost by multiplying the unit cost with given quantity and calculate the total cost for all 4 locations. We can also graph them to decide effectively. The total costs are graphed and we see that for 10,000 units, clearly location C has an advantage. Beyond 10,000 units, this economies of scale set in and makes location C look less lucrative. We select the best location for which the total cost is the lowest. Our location C shows that the lowest total cost for an equal quantity of 10,000 units. In evaluating locations, operations manager can also evaluate business site location by making use of the following three techniques. Number one, the transportation model, which is the decision based on movement cost of raw materials or finished goods. Number two, factor rating, decision based on quantitative and qualitative inputs. And number three, the center of gravity method, which the decision is based on minimum distribution cost. Moving on to transportation method. Transportation method is a quantitative approach that can help solve multiple facility location problems. It is used to determine the allocation pattern that can be used to minimize the cost of shipping products from one to from two or more plants or sources of supply to two or more warehouses or destinations. You can analyze your transportation method based on linear programming, distribution cost, investment cost, and qualitative factors. In linear programming, it does not solve all the problems of the multiple facility locations. It only finds the best shipping pattern between plants and warehouses for a particular set of plant locations with a given capacity. The operations manager or logistics analyst must try a variety of location capacity combinations and use this to find the optimal distribution for each alternative. In analyzing the distribution cost, variable shipping and possible variable production cost are important inputs in evaluating a particular location allocation combination. Investment cost and other fixed costs are also considered. Qualitative factors like land and construction cost against annual profits are also included in the analysis for each location capacity combination. In visualizing the transportation method, we have steps to follow. Step 1. Set up the initial matrix tableau. The basic steps include create a row for each plant, existing or new, being considered and a new column for each warehouse, and a column for plant capacities and a row for warehouse demands, and then insert specific numerical values. Step 2. Each cell not in the requirement row or capacity column represents a shipping route from a plant to a warehouse. Insert the unit cost in the upper right-hand corner of each of these cells. Here is an example of transportation method matrix or tableau. Pakistan Cellular Mobile Company plans to build a 5,000 unit production plant at Islamabad because demand for mobile phones in Pakistan has gone up. The tableau on the next slide shows the unit cost of shipping one truck loader of mobiles from the existing plant at Lahore and the possible location at Islamabad. In transportation method, the sum of the shipments in a row must equal the corresponding plant's capacity. Similarly, the sum of the shipments to a column must add to corresponding warehouses' demand requirements. Thus, shipments to warehouse 1 from Lahore and Islamabad must be equal 2,500 mobiles. The primary requirements of the transportation model is that the sum of capacity must equal the sum of demands, which happens to be 10,000 units of mobile phones. In reality, the total capacity may exceed total requirements or vice versa. If capacity exceeds requirements by, say, M units, we add extra column, a dummy warehouse, with a demand of M units and make the shipping cost in the new created cell equal to 0. Since no shipments are made to the dummy warehouse, so it represents an unused plant capacity. Dummy plants or warehouses. If requirements exceed capacity by, say, M units, we add extra row, dummy plant, with a supply of M units and make the shipping cost, stock out cost, in the new created cell equal to 0. Since no shipments are made to the dummy warehouse or plant, so this step is automatically taken care of in softwares used for such issues. The optimal solution, we try to find the least allocation cost process, and we keep on repeating with various options till a new solution with least cost is obtained, and we call it the optimal solution. And the total transportation cost would be sum of all units times x, the unit's cost. The operation manager needs to be judicious in his approach and may decide to expand the plant at Lahore and build a small plant in Islamabad. To summarize, This video focused primarily on the importance of location, various aspects relating to location planning and analysis. Site locations for both manufacturing and services should also be considered. We should also know how to make use of cost volume analysis and transportation model to carry out practical investigation of real lifetime operations management problems. That's all. Thank you.